Hey, loves, like you, I desire an abundant life and its lifestyle, and to continue to show up as my best version of self, where we win in life to reclaim, rediscover, redesign an authentic and genuine self. And yes, this is intimacy on a whole new level. Welcome. Join us at claritywithsue.com. Again, that's claritywithsue.com.
Well, good morning, everybody. Okay, so Sue's having a wee bit of technical difficulty. So if you guys are joining us on YouTube, so sorry, we're not on video today. We had some Wi-Fi issues, so we are doing it old school. We are on the phone and audio. So, Benny, thank you so much for taking care of all the business behind the scene. Good morning. How are you?
Doing very well. You're welcome. And just doing a little throwback tribute to the old school ways of radio with no visual concept. But now that's okay. I mean, we're still here for you. It's all good. It's all good.
I know. It's funny, and then I get this little panic. My nervous system's like, oh my God, what am I going to do? What am I going to do?
Right?
You're like, it's okay. We have the phone lines, Sue.
Exactly. That's kind of how we originally did it. Yeah.
I know. Well, welcome everybody. Sue Lundquist here, and it is Clarity with Sue. And you guys have heard of the Gratitude Cafe for years. Well, we're doing some rebranding, reorganizing, reclaiming, realigning, rediscovering, redesigning. All those are words. And we are now Clarity, or I am now Clarity with Sue. And this is where we win at life. We're going to educate, we're going to inspire, we're going to love on you. It's all the same good, juicy information and incredible thought leaders that I bring onto the radio show, whether it's myself educating or any of my guests. I bring them on so we can have a new perspective, new thoughts, new ideas, and just kind of be that squeaky wheel. Something gets me curious, or I want to learn more about something, or I've got people that are emailing me or calling me or texting me, hey, this would be a great guest on the show. I want to learn more about that. So yes, of course, do that, but then also tune in. Also remind all of you that, yes, this is live international radio, and then we also have and turn everything over to the podcast world, that being iTunes, SoundCloud, all those. So please go over there and give us a 5-star review, because it's a 5-star kind of day, 5-star kind of show. With all of that being said, I am so glad that you're joining us today. You know what? We're going to talk to a gentleman by the name of Justin today. And, this energy and EMF and the frequencies and all these electronics that are happening, we've just got so much going on, and we're going to dive deep into that conversation, what that actually means, what it can be and actually is doing to the body at a cellular level, and then some solutions to help you with that. And I'm really excited to talk to Justin because, well, here, let me get to the bio, and then I'll do the formal bio, and then we're going to introduce him, bring him on so you can hear his why, get to know him, as we always do. So Justin Frandson is an athleticism performance coach that has worked with amateur and professional athletes for over the past 2 decades. He saw his athletes breaking down from excessive levels of EMF from their smartwatches, wireless earbuds, and electric cars. He has tested hundreds of homes and clients. He sells the Grounding and Faraday Bags at doctor clinics throughout the country. The grounding bags are hand-mined crystals with moisture and magnetic properties to ground and repel EMF. And this could be deeper night sleep, of course, and this is Mother Nature's way of protecting us from excessive rollout of man-made radiation, not a man-made device attempting to keep us up with other man-made levels. So with that, Justin, welcome.
Thank you, Sue. Appreciate you having me on your show.
Thank you. Hey, how can we detox? I mean, first, of course, I do the formal bio, but let's get to your why. Let's get to know who you are and what brought you to this journey.
Oh, well, thanks. I mean, you said most of it in the intro. I'm a performance coach, and Athleticism.com has been my company for over a couple decades, working with some of the top athletes in the world. And I can always feel energy really well, and we work at the nervous system level. And I saw this wave of EMF on a man-made level coming into our world, and it was so different than what I had when I grew up. And so I knew I felt the difference myself, and it wasn't beneficial for me. And I knew it was an environmental toxin and a biotoxin for just everybody. But the signals kept proliferating, and girls kept wearing them and getting them closer and closer to them and more. And I saw them breaking down. And so I knew I had to come up with some answers. And so we looked to Mother Nature to solve this challenge, and launched EMF Rocks, and have had tremendous success with our grounding bags and helping people convert that man-made one-directional waveform into something our body really accepts.
All right. Well, let's dive into this, because people are like, what is EMF? I mean, it's been in the news. It's been, well, at least in my life. Some people maybe not so, but can we just unpack all of that so people have a very, very good, not generic, but easy understanding of what that actually is and what it's doing?
So when people say EMF, what most people realize or think of is electricity, electromagnetic fields or frequencies that are man-made. But what we don't really understand, and what I would love to have everyone understand, is that the entire universe is electric, and so are we, and we're one with it. And our energy fields have the same resonance there as the Earth. We are literally, we rev with the Earth. The Schumann resonance is a healing pulse of the Earth. It's a frequency that's measured at a resonance that's measured at approximately 7.83 hertz or waves per second. And really similar to us, when we're sleeping, Sue, our brainwave state, we go from a delta or theta brainwave state, and it's 1 or below 1 to 8 waves per second, 8 hertz or waves per second. I like to convert everything into waves per second, then everyone really understands how alike or different we are. Now this 5G stuff, 60 to 90 billion waves per second. So there's 10 zeros faster of a wavelength for man-made stuff than how we're really made. And then the man-made can't work unless it's one-directional. So we want to understand that everything has a resonance, and everything, the way we're able to talk and hear ourselves, and you're on the other side of the country than I am. I'm in California, Southern California. We're able to do that through our atmosphere, through ether, through plasma, where the waves travel through to get to us. And they wouldn't be able to get to us unless there was that's our environment. That's like the dolphins, their environment is water, the ocean. Ours is this plasma that the waves travel in. So when we understand that those are waves that are unpolarized and distribute equally in every direction versus a one-directional man-made wave, we can start to really identify what the stressors are and then start to develop proximity protocols with them.
Okay, super juicy, super interesting. So talk to me about your athletes, your performance athletes. What was happening in their body so the audience can understand, well, what are some of the signs? What's happening to the body, the human body, when you're getting too much radiation?
Well,
body, brain, all of that.
Yeah, see, this is the most loaded question
I
ever.
know. But we could try to break it down a little bit, right?
You got it. No, it starts with Dr. Martin Pall out of Washington State University. He discovered that the voltage-gated calcium channels open up, and positive calcium gets let in to a negative cell, and that causes cell and DNA damage. It's a secondary effect from the vibration of EMF. And it's indifferent to an extent where there's still this damage occurring, whether it's low-level radiation, low-level EMF, or a faster wavelength of a 5G level. So even in the low level of electricity, which is 50 to 60 waves per second spectrum, it's still damaging on all the way up to 60 billion waves per second of a 5G spectrum. So that's where it starts. It starts with a vibration that the calcium channels get disrupted. Now, from there, what I've noticed in my practice is athletes end up breaking down because our eyes, our teeth, our thymus, which is your upper chest or lower neck, just below your neck area, or your small intestine, which is just below your belly button, those are the four primary areas that get decharged from EMF. And when you're decharged, your body, remember this body is a body battery. So we get a positive charge from the sun and a negative ionic charge from the earth, and we pull those electrons from the earth and it recharges our body. So if we don't have that polarity in those four areas, we become a gateway for other challenges. And now we go into the list of what EMF is most known for causing challenges. And it's all, the first level one is all cognitive: focus, memory, anxiety, fatigue, behavioral, sleep, stress, headaches. That's level one, is where it disrupts all those mechanisms. Level two would be a deeper level of poison for the body, which would be migraines, like a stronger headache, ringing in the ears, bloody noses, muscle twitching, rashes on your skin. The symptoms, as we found out in the Havana cohort, which was the first attack of U.S. embassy workers on foreign soil with microwave radiation in China and Cuba, was non-trauma concussion symptoms. So vomiting, nausea, and you lose your orientation in a big way. And then the next level, which are level three, I consider them the bigs, the five bigs, which we've now added a sixth: cancer, suicide, diabetes, Alzheimer's, cardiovascular challenges, all have escalated since we put electricity into our homes and put shoes on our feet. And obviously diabetes took the cake because they literally started eating modified foods, and so that one increased the most. But now the sixth one, Sue, is probably one of the major challenges, is the lack of fertility. That sums up the list.
Ouch. Yeah, boy, we hear about that a lot. So, symptoms, what about solutions? Because I know, and what I want to do here is give them some discernment, what their bodies are telling them, what they can do. So, for example, for me, I don't watch a lot of the TV. I try and stay out of all that. But where I'm going with this is when I go out on Mother Earth, which is really important to me, that feeling of being grounded, revitalized, re-energized, that's the discernment I want you all, audience, to hear what we're talking about here. Can we have that conversation as well?
I love this conversation. Well, this is really the answer to so many health challenges, is to get grounded by nature. And people will call it earthing or grounding. What it is really getting outside and being more one with nature, the way we're meant to be, and closer to her, and with no buffers of rubber shoes or all the other man-made stressors. So what you want to do is you want to get out and go barefoot if you can, lay down on a blanket and sit on the earth and have a picnic outside. Get outside and get that sunlight in you. Go touch a tree, hug a tree, go gardening, put your hands in the soil, go swimming in any body of water, ocean. I love to surf, so I'm in the water all the time surfing. You can go into lakes, rivers, all of those are incredible ways for you to recharge your body battery and allow us to integrate with the earth. And in addition to that, I've rolled out the EMFrocks.com grounding bags that it's just like walking barefoot in a bag. So you can literally put that bag on or under your bed and you'll have the deepest night's sleep. You can put them in your car. You can have 5 together to clear 2,000 square feet. So if there's Wi-Fi signals from so many neighbors, you can clear that area. These are the ways that we look to coexist with man-made EMF. And I want to really be clear, too, to everyone is when we give our power away to fear and like, oh, no, there's a tower, or oh, no, there's satellites going up everywhere, or this Internet of Things, this grid is just everywhere. You know, that's okay as long as we're taking care of ourselves and feeding our bodies proper intakes and getting our structured water in us, because this EMF stuff destructures water, getting yourself grounded by nature. These are the components. This is what health is. And when you miss that component, you're going to most likely not heal as quickly or get hit a lot harder.
Right. Oh, there's so many things I could say here. Now, audience, again, this isn't any kind of radical, you know, it could be just gardening, get barefoot. You know, what I've spoken to my clients, Justin, is instead of going forward barefoot, stand on the earth and go backwards, because you are literally feeling every step, because that's your nervous system is saying, wait a minute, that's not normal. What's happening here? So I have them actually close their eyes and walk backwards, so they really can feel into their body, their feet, everything. So it's as simple as that, you guys. It is that. I know there's a lot of people that go out in nature that are listening, and they're going to go hug a tree, go on a hike. Just get yourself out there. And audience, really discern and feel into that contrast, because you know what it feels like when you're stressed, and you know what it feels like when you're not. So really have that hyper awareness, because you want to be in the not stressed, and you want to be in the not with those high frequencies, because that's going to turn into a disease in your body, and we don't want that. That's why we have Justin here. We're having that conversation. Did you have something else to add before we jumped on a commercial? Got a few more minutes.
Yes, I wanted to share Dr. Klinghart's studies that Lyme, mold, microtoxins, parasites are all charged by EMF, by man-made EMF. So when we're grounded, we're able to heal so much faster. And that's really the primary, realm of what we want. There's a book called Earthing by Clint Ober. He really documents so much healing from the earth. This is the resonance that we want to connect to. And the more we can get there, the faster we're going to heal.
So, audience, do you want to heal? Do you want to have more energy? Do you want to sleep better? Do you want your body and your mind and your spirit completely in a homeostasis state? Does that sound juicy to you? I know it sounds juicy to me. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and that's my word. I love that word, Justin, juicy, because it sums it all up to me. All right, Sue Lundquist here. We are going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to finish having a conversation about the EMF, repelling it, grounding, what it all means, and loving on your body, loving on you, loving on Mother Nature. So we'll be right back.
Hey there, everyone. Sue here with Clarity with Sue. You also know me as the host and creator of the Gratitude Cafe. Please sign up for the newsletter so we can stay in touch. All you got to do is go to claritywithsue.com, sign up for the newsletter, and I am creating vitality, abundance, and resilience. I want you to win in life and to reclaim, rediscover, redesign the authentic and genuine you. If that sounds juicy and yummy, come over, let's have a conversation, sign up for the newsletter and or the coaching program and the C2C live online program. Again, that's claritywithsue.com. sue.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Michael Noor with your health tip of the day from the African American Wellness Project. Asthma affects 25 million people nationwide, and every day 10 people die with it, with African American women and children being most at risk. Early warning signs include coughing, especially at night, or with exercise and wheezing. Almost all asthma can be effectively managed with a good action plan. So talk with your doctor today, and for more information, visit aawellnessproject.org.
Hey loves, this is Sue with the Gratitude Cafe and my website Clarity with Sue, creating vitality, abundance, resilience. It's clear mindset. Clarity is your fuel and your gas pedal for all that you desire. Win at life and reclaim, rediscover, redesign the authentic and genuine you. Come get some freebies at claritywithsue.com. That is claritywithsue.com.
Alternative Talk 1150. It's good for what ails you. This statement has not been evaluated by the FDA.
Welcome back, you guys. Sue here. It is Clarity with Sue. We are getting clear about some EMF, clearing ourselves, clearing our energy, clearing our cell phones. Hey, listen, ask yourself, do you want to have more energy? Do you want to have clear thoughts? Do you want to have a restful sleep? All of that is a domino effect if you don't have that. We all know what that contrast is, right? Our bodies will become diseased, our mental fatigue. There's a whole gamut of things that happen. And Justin talked about that at the top of the hour. We're going to continue talking. We started kind of diving in when we were on commercial break. So, Justin, let's have that conversation again. You were talking about the bag.
Yeah, let me back up a minute here. And I think one of the other questions like everyone wants to know is, how do you know the stuff really is affecting you?
Exactly.
And you know, it's we know it's different. We know it's a one-directional waveform. We know it's a polar opposite charge than how we sleep, rev, and optimize from the Earth side. And then we know that it's 10 zeros faster than how our body optimizes. Because, you know, we mentioned when we're in that deep state, we're really close to the Schumann resonance. When we're an athlete performing, our brainwave state's 8 to 12 hertz or waves per second. And this stuff's, again, 60 to 90 billion waves per second. The cell phone's 2.45 billion waves per second. So there's so many groups have done tons of studies on EMF and the man-made and how it affects us. And I mentioned Klinghart's work and Martin Paul's work, but there's a group called the bioinitiative.org, so bioinitiative.org. They had a couple hundred scientists from 40 countries all came to the agreement that EMF was super challenging for us, and they set these levels of 1 milligauss or below and 50 GS units or amps to volts on a Stetzer electric meter, or even 50 microwatts per meter squared or below on a acoustometer. So they set these levels of safety. And there's a gentleman named Arthur Furstenberg, who's really just probably one of the biggest researchers, and wrote a book called The Invisible Rainbow, which is absolutely just one of the most riveting reads you'll ever read. And he has a website called cellphonetaskforce.org. So just I encourage everyone to look at all those different studies, read some of these incredible books, read the book Eileen McCusick, McCusick, wrote, called Electric Body, Electric Health. And you'll start to understand this waveform resonance, and you'll see the studies done by researchers and doctors and experts all around the country, because our own government has done tests. In 1996, they set procedural levels of something as ionizing or non-ionizing. So if it was ionizing, you know, it caused a thermal effect. It raised your body temperature, oscillated the cells, and then they're like, okay, that's it. If it causes that, then that's, you know, unsafe. So microwave, like how do you cook your food in a microwave. Well, it's the same waveform technology. There are millimeter waves that oscillate the temperature. But what we're learning is that it can be non-ionizing and still be disruptive for our body. So that's kind of some of the studies that have gone into the back end of EMF and how we really know, other than feeling it, tracking your sleep, seeing your blood microscopy levels change with these thermal effects and this vibration, seeing your neurotransmitters, seeing your pH. I mean, literally, you can go get pH paper and test yourself and then go stand in front of a smart meter and retest yourself, and your levels will drop. And then you can add a grounding bag back in and it'll normalize again. But these are all really simple levels. I mean, and everyone has access to track their sleep with these sleep trackers. So this isn't rocket science here. You can get meters to meter the speed of these wavelengths in these different wavelength spectrums. And then you can have the wearables and use these things to test yourself maybe once or twice and then not use them very often again.
Gotcha. So the phone apps and all of that,
right.
And you were talking about the pH. Those are the little papers that you can get anywhere in any drugstore. I mean, it's all over the place now.
Right.
Okay. Something's popping up for me, so that means the audience has got the question too. They're just kind of shaking their head, going, "What? What?" I back up a minute. EMF, frequency, energy. I know that we talked about this at the beginning of the hour. Although I want to circle back around because I have had these conversations with people that they just shake their head and go, "What do you mean EMF and this energy and frequency is affecting me?" Can we just go back to that conversation again and just reiterate that it is frequency, it is energy, and for them to understand that it is affecting their bodies?
Yes, definitely. Well, probably one of the best examples I can give, Sue, is out of the book The Invisible Rainbow by Arthur Firstenberg. The first 100 pages or so, he categorizes all the major pandemics in the history of the world and directly correlates them with shifts in our electromagnetic blanket of an atmosphere, whether it was cosmic or man-made. So any of the shifts before 1918, where we introduced radio waves across the world on a broad spectrum, was a cosmic shift. So if there is some type of cosmic shift, it affects your REM patterns, and then that affects your sleep and then your pineal glands. And so that's an environmental challenge that our body deals with, and we just adapt. And so we'll end up producing a virus, which is a dead protein. It doesn't eat, it doesn't reproduce, doesn't derive energy from anything. Viruses are dead proteins. So that's our adaptation system. So before 1918, we saw that with cosmic shifts. And then 1918, we introduced radio waves. And then in World War II, we introduced radar. And there were satellites in the Van Allen belt, this protective belt. And that was in the Hong Kong flu era. So throughout the history, and then guess what? 2020 was the first rollout of 5G spectrum, which are these millimeter waves that literally we can talk across the world on a phone or Zoom or what have you instantly, and it's all from these waveform technologies. So there's no scratching your head why these frequencies can be broadcasted, and those are the contagions. These are the environmental toxins. So as Dr. Tom Cowan, C-O-W-A-N, encourage everyone to look at his book and his studies on the heart and more. And he has a drtomcowan.com. He's a medical doctor. And he had a video that went viral. And I don't know if you saw it, Sue, but what he said in this 9-minute video was, if you're studying dolphins and they all get sick, are you going to do one of three of these things? Are you going to say, hey, did that dolphin give that dolphin a virus? and some people raise their hands in the group, and he goes, are you going to say, hey, in 2020, their genetics, there's something wrong with their genes where they're all going to get sick? Some people raise their hands to look at the genes. And then the third question he asks is, hey, are you going to say, did someone pollute the water? And everyone's like, oh my goodness, that's it. It's an environmental toxin. It dawned on everyone that when they pollute their environment, these creatures, mammals, will adapt. And that's what we're seeing now. So when you look at EMF as a stressor, it's a massive environmental stressor, as glyphosate is for soil, as Zach Bush, MD, will say. You know, there's 30 plus years of documented studies that we just herbicides, pesticides, glyphosate's a water-soluble antibiotic. It's patented as an antibiotic, but we're dipping seeds in it and spraying it everywhere. That's an environmental toxin. And the symptoms of what we're seeing with disease, it's really similar to cyanide poisoning. We're not getting the oxygen through. And then we also know that these 5G can broadcast these bandwidths all around the world instantly. So there's no scratching your head for these incredible doctors that there's a massive correlation between us getting sick and adapting and the symptoms of dis-ease in our body are directly correlated to environmental and biotoxins that we're introduced to.
Interesting conversation because, and thank you, Justin, because we are incredible humans and we are adaptable. I would like to throw out a disclaimer, a question maybe that says, yes, there's part of me that wants to adapt mentally, physically, spiritually, energetically. However, with EMS, where's the cap? At one point, do you say, hey, enough is enough? Because your body's going into disease. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, when do we adapt? Most people don't really go this deep on this conversation. We don't understand physics, Sue. We're not taught biology. Like, this is the challenge. And so until someone bends and breaks, then they start to look at this stuff. And what
that is, yes.
Yeah. My mission is to increase that awareness to really show people what health it really is. And health is literally getting grounded and smiling and laughing and loving and touching and being together and eating right and breathing and being out and being one with nature. It's not living in fear of anything. We're not designed like that. And so, we want to be in growth mode, which is a parasympathetic state where our nervous system is in thrive mode. When we are in a flight or fight or freeze, the sympathetic nervous system mode, that stunts our growth and becomes another gateway for health challenges and lack of abundance in your world. And so this whole topic, it's not just one answer or one solution or, hey, just get a grounding bag. Yeah, that'll be fantastic and help. But I want to share a bigger picture and a bigger understanding of what health really is. And when we can do this, we can get through all the stuff in the last couple of years and then have the awareness for it to never happen again, because we really have a deeper understanding of how the universe works.
Oh, it's so important. Now, Justin, it is a paradigm shift in our thoughts, beliefs, and actions and behaviors.
Right.
Do you want, and it really is. And I say that with so much love and compassion, not only for myself, but everybody listening. It is truly a paradigm shift. It's like that old analogy when, they should really put a speed bump in the neighborhood before somebody gets killed. And until somebody gets killed, then the speed bump gets put in, right?
Exactly.
And I don't want that analogy in life. I don't want people to be thinking that. I don't want them to get sick and then go, I need to get better. Because, of course, you're going to want to get better because you're hyper-focused on being healthy. So why not look at it right now and ask yourselves, do I want to be healthy, mind, body, energy, fit? Do I want to sleep well? Am I in fight or flight? There's some crazy statistic, and maybe you know the number, that the majority of Americans, number one, they're dehydrated, but two, they're all in fight or flight. I know I have been witness to that in my own body with adrenal failure and other things going on. And we have environmental stresses. We have emotional stresses, you know, the in-laws or the kids, or we've got bills to pay. So there is an aspect of our bodies in constant stress. So what does it look like for you to then add on the EMS and the other frequencies that are tapping into your body from a cellular level? It really is. This isn't, you know, some kind of woo-woo conversation here, guys. It's science and biology. It is a true fact, and you can go and get your information. And I think what you've also said, even more importantly, knowledge is power. Get the knowledge. It's not just about the bags. It's not just about the rocks, although that is great. And it's not just about grounding in earth and having a hike. That's great. It is the education and the paradigm shift in all of our thoughts and our processes to not have to get sick and then go, oh, okay, I need to get better now.
Right. We want to be preventative.
Preventative, babe. Yes. All preventative. All preventative. Okay, so talk to me about the stones, the rocks, the bags. We were talking about it or a little bit on YouTube, and then we kind of segued into a little deeper conversation.
Yeah, so we hand mine these crystals, and they have moisture magnetic properties to repel and ground and recharge you. And similar to shungite, amethyst, black tourmaline, these crystals have those amazing magnetic properties, and even more so. But in addition to that, they have a moisture content from being compressed from an underground water source. The combination of the moisture with the magnetic properties is what gives them the most incredible resonance to help us repel EMF and ground us. You can also hold them, tap on them, and recharge your body. So those 4 areas that I talked about in the beginning, the eyes, teeth, thymus, and your stomach, small intestine area, you can hold a bag with one hand, tap on it, cover the eyes with the other hand, and tap and breathe. That'll direct that negative ion charge, those electrons, to your eyes to recharge your eyes. And then you could do it with your teeth. You can tap on it, put your hand over your upper chest, lower neck area, recharge your thymus. Your thymus is your electrical system for your whole body. So if your energy's off, if you wake up and you don't feel so great, grab a grounding bag, and tap on it, or get grounded by nature, or both, and your energy will literally 10x. You'll go up in energy up to about 10 times the level that you started at. And this is the power of the Mother Nature and these properties that she's given us. I mean, we just had Mother's Day. It's like the most special day for me to honor that and that energy and the earth, and how we're one with her. And every one of the women out there has that same beauty and resonance and frequency and power in themselves. And just to own that and know that they have that in them, and then they can connect to it any time. And same with guys. It's a really, really powerful way to go about life, to have something that will support you like that.
And why not? Again, thank you, Justin, going back to the conversation of it's sustaining your health, mind, body, spirit, energetic. It's the whole health thought process, and energy is a huge part of that. And when I have this conversation, and I'm just going to segue just a little bit, just for an analogy, and you can totally jump in if you want to and give another one. If the moon can affect the oceans and the tides, it can also affect our bodies. We are a huge percentage, I forget the number, of liquid and water. So the moon and the frequencies and the energies, and then you've got the EMFs, and all these things you can't see, right? You can't really see until it becomes an issue in your body. So again, going back to the conversation and having that paradigm shift of, I want to sustain my health. That is a choice. And I'm gonna just kind of talk to the moms, the dads, the leaders of the world and say, hey, is it important for you to show up healthy? Is it important for you to show up strong and clear mind, clear body? Is that important to you? Justin, is it important to you?
Oh, of course.
Yeah. And this isn't a shaming conversation, guys. This is just pure education and love. And when you're foggy brain, you'd be like, I just ain't feeling quite right. Well, do your body checks like you would as a parent to a child. The child's crying, you got to kind of do the ABC check, pee, poop, whatever it is. Are you hungry? Are you dehydrated? Have you gone out into Mother Nature? Get yourself a sound education behind EMF and what this all looks like. And Justin is, like he said, he's on a mission to do that. And it's not just about the bags, although the bags and the rocks are really, really helpful. Get into nature and get your education, because then you're creating a neural pathway for it. You're getting an understanding of what this really is and how it can affect your body. And then you now have a solution. What else did you want to add, Justin? A few more minutes here.
Oh, definitely. I mean, second, everything you just said, we're huge conductors because our body is, energetic, electric, and then we are made of water. So it makes a lot of sense that we can be a big antenna for this man-made millimeter waves that are invisible waveforms. So
yeah,
just second, everything you just said, that you're spot on. And I'm so grateful for your awareness and allowing us to share this and get that word out, because it feels really good to feel amazing.
Well, people are so caught up in that, I feel like crap. And they're I guess that's now my new normal. I'm like, no, sweetheart, it's not. Hang on.
Exactly. Because you get stuck in a rut and you're like, they don't know what it feels like to feel good anymore. And so we want to share with them that there is another level of health that you can get by getting grounded by nature, because it's your nature. And there are ways that you can recharge your body battery and get deeper sleep, and start with the sleep. You start with one grounding bag on your bed and keep it sealed, use it as is, and put it at the head of your bed. You won't touch it, you won't bump into it, you won't even know it's there. You'll literally get 3 to 50% deeper sleep. And then you accumulate that over months, you're going to start feeling so good and being more resilient against, other, challenges that come your way.
I love that, because it's like, the audience has heard me talk about this, Justin. It's like putting on those new pair of glasses for the first time. You didn't realize how poor your sight was until you put them on, and you're like, oh, and this is my example, because my eyesight has gotten a little wonky, and I got a pair of glasses, and I'm like, oh my God. The pavement is aggregate, because I couldn't see the fine details, right? So you don't know what you don't know. However, you do know when you're in discomfort, right? You know when your body, when you're in stress. Things are happening or they're not happening within your body, your mind, the foggy brain, all of that. So really have that awareness, just like Justin was talking about at the top of the hour, and showing you the discernment between the two. How many levels there was a different levels that you talked about at the beginning of the hour of what it's doing to your body, from adrenal failure to headaches to fatigue, right. All different kinds. Yeah. I just wanted to recap on that so people heard it again, so they could have the awareness and the contrast to go, okay, I need to get out in nature. I need to get grounded. I need to pay attention to how much use I am on my laptop, my cell phone, with the EMF. Did I communicate that effectively? Okay, go ahead.
Definitely. So really understand that these are bio stressors for the body, environmental toxins. So when I say these, I want you to understand identify literally what the stressors are. So you have 3 levels of electricity that we like to measure, and there's meters to measure each of them. You have a milligauss meter to measure electricity in the 50 to 60 waves per second. You have a Stetzer electric meter to meter about 100,000 waves per second of dirty electricity. That's static in a line. And then you have the wireless signals, 1 million on up to a couple billion waves per second. These meters can meter. But they can't meter any higher than that. So literally I have a strongest one-directional wireless like acoustometer to meter millimeter waves, and it meters out when I point it at a cell phone. The cell phones are so strong. There's so many different types of EMF and meters that you can point it to. But in your own home, what I want you to do is recognize that, hey, if you have an Alexa, Ring, a Nest AC unit, they have speakers on it, so they're listening to you. There's wireless signals from all the smart devices. Well, Nest and AC unit is actually waiting for you to say, hey, turn me on. We also have our smart meter, which is an automated gas and electric meter. So Josh Del Sol made a documentary movie called Take Back Your Power, which everyone should watch. It's just unbelievable. And talks about the challenges of the pulsing of the smart meter and how disruptive that is. So all the routers, the timers, electricity in your home, the smart TVs, all these things are connected through an Internet of Things, through a grid, and they pick up these different bandwidths, and so they're always on. And so if you're sleeping, your brain basically is like, it feels like someone's tapping it on their shoulder saying, talk to me, talk to me, talk to me all night long. And your body's going, hey, wait, I want to go to sleep. But your brain's going, well, what are these waveforms pinging me all night long? And you go into a twilight sleep, so you don't get that deep REM restorative sleep. So that's where the sleep becomes really challenging. So get rid of the wearable technologies. Just stop wearing a smartwatch. Stop wearing wireless earbuds. That's a millimeter waves in your inner ear. There's no skull between your ear canal and your brain. It's airway canal. So you're getting literally localized radiation in your inner ear, which will cause acoustic nerve challenges and cancer, as our own California Department of Public Health did a study and showed all that. So start to understand these stressors, identifying where they are, and the other two that are really substantial that we have to unlearn what we've been taught as healthy. Electric cars are not healthier for the environment and our body. They still mine them in other countries with coal and cadmium, like precious minerals. And then when these batteries expire in a decade or so, they fill up our mines with acid and dead batteries. So this isn't a net zero in any way, shape, or form on the environment. But the worst part about it, too, is that you're sitting on a big battery when you're driving a car. In no health book does it say sit on a big battery for health. It is the worst thing you can ever do for your health. So solar on your home causes that vibration as well. Sitting in an electric car, Teslas, they're just cooking people to death. The whole front dashboard is milligauss at the highest level, anywhere from 15 on up to 60 milligauss, should be 1 or below. And that's on every new car for the most part. They're manufacturing errors. They don't ground them out as effectively as they could. And then these batteries, you just don't want to sit on them. And then the whole thing's self-driving. You have all three at the highest level. So we got to get away from thinking that electricity is the answer. And because you're plugging it in, you're using more power to plug it in at night, and then you're upping the electrical grid. And then the wattage used on these cell towers is extensive, the amount of electricity used. we've been sold a bill of goods from all the industries. And
Wow.
obviously I talked about agriculture and the farming industry and using glyphosate and this and that and the fake foods. That industry is there. Telecom is equally just as challenging, and saying, hey, look, everyone needs to be connected and have millimeter waves and be connected. Well, you go to a poverty-ridden area, third world country, or you go to a remote area, there's no electricity there. They don't need satellites beaming down, killing the environment. We just don't need that. There's no use for it. And we've been sold a bill of goods for people to really stay connected, but it's not for our own good. It's for these profit for these companies, and then maybe there's some other tracking and tracing ulterior motives that other people have as well. But we want to get away from this whole Internet of Things grid and get back to living with nature the way nature intended us to.
It's like, thank you, Justin. That's beautiful. And it's like driving a microwave with the Teslas. Let's just sit on a big microwave.
Exactly.
Or a big
and it's no
cabinet.
different
Oh, my God.
Dude, it's no different inside of an airplane now. I had a client who had diabetes, got bloody nose when everyone turned on their phones on a long flight. And they tracked it on their smartwatch. I mean, you're inside a capsule with hundreds of people at 2.45 billion waves per second per phone. Yeah, the kid's level spiked, and diabetes is one of the challenges with EMF, and he got a bloody nose on the plane. His blood sugar went up 200 points. There's no scratching your head on the stuff.
Wow. All right. Well, this has been super enlightening, super educational, squeaky wheel. Love this conversation. Love what you're doing, Justin. Keep at it. I will have all of his information on my website, but in the meantime, you have some information that you can offer right now, where to get a hold of you?
EMFrocks.com. Electromagnetic field. Yeah, EMF Rocks, EMFrocks.com. Grab your Faraday bags. Help protect you from your phone. Grab your grounding bags. Get a deeper night's sleep. Convert all the resonance of this disruptive stuff that you can't see, that our bodies can feel, that animals can hear and feel, and convert that waveform so we get grounded by nature.
I love it. I'm going to be ordering mine. Send it my way, please. I love it. Have
Yes,
it as I
will.
travel. Oh, I love it. All right, you guys. We're going to wrap up the hour. Benny, thank you so much for taking such good care of us. And to all of you out there in the radio land and world, international, thank you so much for tuning in. And again, ask yourself the question, do I want more sleep? Do I want to show up as the leader? Do I want to show up as my best self? That's why I have this radio show. That's why I do what I do, so I can bring these people on to give us the education and the knowledge, because knowledge is power. And you're going to take your power back. You're going to reclaim it, redesign it, all for the authentic and genuine you. Justin, thank you so much for this great educational hour. And to all of you out there, we're going to see you next week. I'll have all this information on my website. And if you haven't signed up for the newsletter, make sure you do that so you can get a copy of the show. Just go to claritywithsue.com/newsletter. Send me any information that you want. Do you want questions? Do you have guests on the show that you want to hear? Send that my way as well. Find all that information on claritywithsue.com. All right. Until next week, each of you are a guest. Get out there and share yourself with the world.
A new day, the game has changed, the pieces in place.